All right, so the next assignment is a little longer one. It's the week one, chapter 12 assignment over the readings in the Renaissance Reader using the information from the They Say I Say chapter 12. Basically, all that that chapter is trying to say is it's really good to know what motivates a writer because it's going to be a lot easier for you to work with that information uh, if you do know that. Okay, so if you look at what I put in there, and I'm hoping you already have, um, I I took the information that I put in there, those 5 bullet points, and I kind of derived that from They Say I Say, pages 145 and 6. They kind of hurry through that. I kind of slowed it up a little bit. Some of the things that I think you need to know when you're going to figure out what's motivating someone is first off just who they are, who the author is, and who they're writing to. Certainly, I think that impacts what they're motivated by. Then figure out what they're responding to. And I kind of broke that down further. Is it something they have seen? Is it something they have heard? Something they have thought? Or something they've felt? If we work through the scene thing, well, one of the things they could have seen, they could have gotten a piece of writing that they've seen there, and then they're reflecting on that and responding to that. Another one could be something they've seen out in the world. Maybe with all you'll notice these readings are really focused on kind of lot of war going on. So maybe they've seen some war, and that's really disturbed them. So maybe that's what they're responding to, is what they've seen. They could have heard something. They could have heard something from people coming in from other places, or they could have heard the sounds of gunfire themselves and been worried about war. They could have heard rumors. They could have heard their friends. They could have heard something in the marketplace. So there's lots of ways that somebody could hear something and maybe respond to it that way. There's also something they could have thought. They could have not really been thinking about any of those things, but they could have just feel a thought coming on and are reflecting on that. And then there's feeling itself. Um, Maybe that by the things that are going on in the day that they feel a certain tone or thought in the air. So I'm using I'm flip-flopping between those words because it's not really, if we really look at it, all those things come through the faculty of thinking, so I really could just left it there. But I want to make sure that you were thinking fully about, is it something they saw, something they heard, something here? Where is it that what they're responding to is from? And so I wanted to kind of work through those in the bullet points, and then I want you to compose 2 or 3 sentences about that, so, to kind of tell us what's ultimately motivating the writer. So by the time you figured out who's writing, who they're writing to, or what they're writing, or what the audience they intended, and the things they're responding to, and whether they agree or disagree, I think that you'll be by then ready to say what motivates them, what motivates these people. So 2 or 3 sentences. You'll notice that I had 4 or 5 bullet points. I don't want you to address this thing in bullet points. I want you just to try to pull some of those bullet points together to give me 2 or 3 sentences. You can always write over that, but 2 or 3 sentences I think is probably useful. And again, this is not summary, this is motivation. What's motivating the people? All right. Let me see. What else did I say there? Yeah, 2 or 3 good crafted sentences. All right. Probably the other big thing that I would point out there is that I want you to copy. So I want you to make a document, and in this document it should be an MLA formatted document, and you should have 11 entries. So 11 2 to 3 sentences, one over each one of the things, each one of the readings. Um, and it'd be useful, this is not particularly an MLA thing, but it'd be useful probably to go ahead and give us a heading. If you're writing about Marsilio Ficino, if you're writing about Pope Pius, just give us a little heading so we know what it is, but please don't bullet because I want us to get um, good skills of MLA here. Um, and I want you to do the whole document. I want you to have a works cited. You should have 11 things on your works cited because you're going to have 11 pieces. And that's mostly because I want to see how your MLA is. Yes, this assignment is a little bit longer than I would normally do, but not terribly. It's just more involved because there's 11 different pieces. So I'm really trying to ask you I want to front load the class so that you're doing well early on. So I want you to create a document, and then after you've got that document, I want you to put it in the message board, and I want you to attach it. I also want you to copy and paste whatever was in your document and put that in the message box, kind of as insurance for us. If any of you have dealt with Angel before, you figured out that Angel is not always a faithful guide and may end up trying to be a little bit more of a demon than an angel. So I would make sure that you copy paste and give me the attachment. That way I can make sure that either way that I can kind of give you credit for whatever you've turned in. Yes, what else? I think those are most of the things we talked about today in class and most of the stuff that we ended up kind of ferreting out. Again, if you have any questions, shoot me an email. If you think it's a question that other people may need to see, please put it up in the questions thread. Not the question assignment, but the questions thread at the very top. Other than that, I look forward to seeing what you do with this first assignment. I'm really trying not to be, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to tell too much, and I'm not trying to tell not enough. I don't want to do so much here that there's no room for you to kind of explore these pieces on your own, but I also kind of need to see what y'all can do working on your own. So anyway, I'm excited to see what you do here. Next week, I will, early in the week, I will get on and take a look at what you pulled up, and we will look at it through there. We will look at it together on here, and we'll see what that looks like. All right, thanks. Bye.